Ready for you.
Let's do it.
Greetings, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, and willkommen ein Arcspire, ja?
Ja?
Hmm,
Wirklich?
Okay. Cool.
Wait, why?
I'm going to add that to our mothership playlist, Cube, just because you said it wasn't real.
Dang.
Yeah, bitch. We just got owned.
Well, if only we'll play Mothership one of these days again.
Fair.
Welcome, friends, to Diesel Shot. Liesel Shot, one might even call it.
Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
If you are new to Arcspire, !Arcspire will tell you everything you need to know about the general structure of the factions. And this game is, of course, sponsored by Fool's Moon Entertainment. Fool's Moon, don't miss their current Kickstarter.
Yeah, let's get a link to that if you don't mind.
A link to it. Someone could indeed get that link.
I'm trying to make a post right now. Otherwise,
So yeah,
in a sec.
here we are. And if you'd like to influence the going of events, there are 3 major ways to do so. The Wild Magic Surge bar, left-hand side of the screen, is powered by donations. Consider giving us some moolah down in the About Me section. Click on the donation, money, honey. And that will make the Wild Magic Surge bar go up. It wraps around for all our shows, and whenever it pops 50, something happens. Whether it be a spell book come to life, or a magical journey to another universe, or an angel attack, something will happen. Something wacky. Change the battlefield, change the universe, change the world. After all that's said and done, we've got bit menu for biddies on the show, as it were, and you can use that to influence the going of the game with bits. Both of those cost real money. If you don't want to spend any of that, for $0 down, just like driving off the lot with a nice new boat, you can give a dangerous to go into a character, and they'll gain item or insight at my discretion, of my choosing, at the hour of my decision. So yeah, have a go with that. We
Renerick.
Renerick.
Yes.
We join our Patarti members as they find themselves near the one of the scriptorums of the Arcspire. Renrick, you've been here many times to study things, but today is a curious case where you've been hearing of a haunting around here. Now, the haunt is not a negative thing, necessarily, but there's been news of a malicious spirit lingering here somewhere. You don't understand why or what they're up to, but the 3 of you are around, and also at full health and 0 stress. And
Solid.
wait, Viv, is your max HP still 6? I thought it was 8. Oh.
Nope, I was at 4, and then when I went to level 2, I went to 5, and I went to level 3. I rolled below 5, so I got 1 anyways and went to 6.
Nice. We love this system. It's great, especially for
Unstoppable.
HP. I actually do love this system, but you know. Alright, let me toss this to my gal pals. Okay. Now I get to join the Roll20.
Wait, we didn't go to level 4, did we?
I
Did we
don't
level up?
believe so.
No, you did not go to level 4.
Okay.
Bummer.
We'll have to do that next time.
True. Can't wait to see what clobbering things my character can do at the next level.
Wait, you're not going to start taking levels in High Mage? That's
Can you
where
even
it's
do
at.
that in this system?
I don't think so. I think you have to do it from the starter.
Yeah, you
not-
gotta be like, I am an adventurer. That's literally Kevin Crawford's answer to, but I want a cross class. All right, kid. Listen here, whippersnapper.
It's a good thing I choose violence.
Back in my day, we had fighter, magic user, thief.
Those sound
For
like
real, though.
perfectly usable archetypes for a thing that I'm not playing right now.
Yeah. So, you've heard that there is activity in this part of the scriptorium. People have vacated it and are not presently researching here, but there are some people who see you in the hallways, so to give a nod. You know, there's thick stacks of tomes and glowing glass from which you can summon knowledge from the aether at times. Renrick, snow dogs with the reclaimer influence. The reclaimers.
Oh, thank
Ooh.
Not
goodness.
coming up. They were
finally.
back of the pack, but
Good
they grown. They
fucking
grown.
food.
And as we get the faction dice rolling, why don't one of the reclaimers roll me a D100 and Renrick roll me a D100?
Do you mind if I do so, Cass?
It is your turn. I was going to suggest it. She's all yours, baby.
I rolled better than Renrick, but still
Oof.
pretty crap.
Well, Renrick, you almost slide in under thanks to failing and flailing as James juices you a 76. Unfortunately, you're 4 short.
No.
Oh, thank
So
God.
your factions, you know, you're kind of embroiled in the presence. The Reclaimer's up 10 again to 60. Still 2 south of that roll, or 12 south of the 72. But there'll be other faction influence rolls, you know, as the Arcanists and Reclaimers out front racing for it. You guys don't have any particular assistance from your clades. There's presently a talk of a conclave of the clades coming together to discuss what is to be done. And for the moment,
yeah, we kind of fucked some shit up.
you're busy just running around the spire. You know, people are keeping an eye on you after the situations with the Elysium in the sky and some other activities. And now it's time to it's time to poke around. You know that there's, you know, some vast nexus of stacks to your north, a nexus to your south, and it's somewhere between these two is where the activity has been reported. As you step along the metal confines of this swooping arched arc spire hallway, you feel at once alone and yet in company, as you don't see people walking up and down the halls at the moment, but you do feel like you're not the only people here.
So, Renrick, seems wise that you called us too. Whatever seems to be the issue.
So there were sightings of a ghost, is that right, Lee?
Yeah, so the haunting that's happened ever since the battle against the Grim Empress means that there just are ghosts around the Arcspire and elsewhere. Normally they're helpful, or friendly, or mysterious. But there's been a haunting of a negative sort in the library of late. The spirit has been accosting people aggressively, and it's been causing them to not be able to study. And to pull lore out of this area. And ahead of the conclave, everybody wants to do some research. So this is a bit of a pressing issue, and there's no on-hand people to deal with this particular spiritual problem. Who's like more to hand than you guys?
All right. Well, we must protect the nerds. So yeah, if Cass and Vivian have not been briefed yet, I explain that situation.
Cass might, or Viv might have been. I think Cass probably wasn't paying attention. She
Yeah,
heard
so
the word nerd, or she
Cass and
imagined
Viv
it.
were both explained to, and then on the way over here, Viv explained to Cass once again, and now Renerick explained to Cass, and hopefully Cass has been explained to by now.
Hopefully it'll stick.
That girl is like a non-stick skillet, I swear to God.
So yeah, I guess we should just start by asking around.
Is there anyone
First
down this
priority,
far you
probably.
to ask?
Yeah. Is there a like librarian equivalent?
Yeah, I mean, there are, the keepers of the scrolls, and, things are spread around. You could absolutely
Let's
talk to
find one.
somebody. Yeah, I mean, basically, they are nearby, working on, uh, some book stuff outside of these particular vestibules. So like just back of the intersection to your east, they got some books and some scrolls out, and they're having a look at this table.
Okay. Well, Rennick suggests that we go and talk with them to try to get some information ahead of time, determine if how dangerous this ghost is, if we want to go in guns blazing, that kind of thing.
Ghosts blazing.
Sounds like
We
a
are the
wise
Ghostbusters
decision.
now.
Go
Hell
blaze
yeah.
it.
I prefer the term basher, but I'll take buster, I guess, if that's what you're sticking with. Not sure what it's a reference to.
You don't have a Buster sword?
No,
Busting does
it's
not make her
actually
feel good.
it's a slashing tool.
Mostly fills her with regret for those she's lost. Spilt upon the battlefield.
The friends we busted along the way.
So yeah, there's around the corner there is this woman who is the keeper of keeper of the scripts. The script keeper, if you will.
Truly.
Yeah.
I'm like the script keeper.
So yeah, Renrick goes up to them and says,
And she's like,
"How goes it?"
She's like, Renrick, well, the haunt thickens here in a most infortuitous way. I'm afraid that if you're here to do any more research, you're going to have to wait. I'm given to understand that we've sent for somebody, but I don't know how long it's going to take them to find an exorcist.
Well, they've sent us, and if we would indicate over to Vivian and Cass, to investigate. I assume that they're looking for a proper exorcist, but in the meantime, maybe we can help. What's been going on? Tell me about this ghost.
And she's like, well, the spirit has taken a few forms. I'm not exactly clear on how or why they're not behaving like the ghosts of our comrades that will sometimes appear. This apparition seems focused. Renrick, could you roll me a Charisma Connect just to see how much historically this particular script keeper likes you?
Sure. Charisma Connect. Not terrible with a -1.
Yeah, so she knows you. You're a man about books, and she trusts you with the saying there is a sealed section of this scriptorum. I don't. The spirit hasn't been coming from there or in that particular area, but one of the people who got harassed by the spirit did say it felt like they were trying to force them towards the sealed door to the south.
I see. And this is the restricted section. You need permission to go in there, that kind of thing.
No, so this. I mean, you would already know that like this isn't necessarily like a place with restricted books or anything. This is it has been sealed. Parts of the Arcspire have been sealed for a very long time. Centuries or longer. You don't know how long this has been sealed in particular. You just know that since you've been coming here, the southern, bit of this scriptorum has been sealed off. And if there's stuff behind it, also, the scriptoriums weren't originally libraries full of books. It is widely believed that there were originally no books in the Arkspire. But now they're brimming with tomes, so at some point they got converted in purpose. And at some point the door to the south got sealed. Whether that was because of damage or some concern or...
Right. Okay. So this spirit, has it exhibited any violent tendencies? Does it seem to try to hurt anyone?
It'll throw books and debris around, which is very unusual. People were talked about feeling very ill at ease, and it caused them to flee. It's not quite unprecedented, but certainly not common. And
Okay.
the ghosts around here, the haunt doesn't act like that here. They're mostly helpful. So this is just a bit concerning and disrupted our natural flow.
Understood. But no one has been seriously hurt.
No, there have been no serious injuries sustained.
Understood. Could you point us in the area where the spirit was last spotted?
Certainly. The spirit was last spotted. And she comes up and she points broadly. Near the northern shelves of the southern entrance and in the northern area by the terminal. I honestly couldn't say which incident happened more recently. They were reported pretty close to one another as people sort of ran out screaming.
All right, we'll take it from here. Thank you very much.
No problem. I'll be about the scripts.
One other question before you leave. Do you
Indeed.
think this may have something to do with the Grim Empress sabotaging in some fashion? I know that the haunts didn't really start until the war.
He's like,
Might have something
well,
to do with it.
the nature of the haunt is debated, but when many people die traumatically in the same area, whether the legacy is active or frayed, such as at the borders of Aratu, it's not uncommon for there to be ghosts. Officially, I'm aware there's an inquiry, but if they've turned anything up, she shrugs. You could roll me an int no, Pat, to know more.
All right.
Would you like to know more?
Yeah.
Desire to know more does intensify.
She would say, I hadn't heard anybody imply that the haunt was directly the Grim Empress's doing, although it's possible it's fallout.
My character kind of just assumes most things are or could be manipulated to be conceived as such. Well, she got a 6. About average. Probably doesn't know much more. Me?
Yeah, sorry. You don't know anything in particular, and nothing that would indicate. I mean, you know when it started, and other than when it started, and the fact that a lot of them are the ghosts who died in the battle, where a majority of the Arkspire's frontliners were wiped out.
Okay. Thank you. All right, let's go.
All right. We could check out the north area first. I don't think it makes much of a difference.
All right, sounds good. Didn't know these things were down here. They're so full of books. Crazy.
Yeah, you see various tables and glows to the south, and many stacks to the north. In the corner, a terminal. 2 other doors lead to mostly further stacks of book.
All right. Renerick looks around. Is anything obviously out of place, like thrown books, stuff like that?
Give me a whiz notice, I would say, but it doesn't. I mean, there is like some like crumpled books that have fallen.
Oh well, I got a 13.
Yeah, we'll cast those as some crumpled books and like disturbed scrolls that have fallen. They are on a variety of subjects, from horticulture to the history of neighboring kingdoms, but none of them are particularly prescient to the current situation. Renric, you look around and you notice in the blue light of the terminal, there is a swaying behind the screen, or perhaps atop the surface, as if though these blue lines were pulled up out of the inky blackness of the screen, and they were ripples upon the water, and there was a ripple cutting sidelong through them. And as you look at it, Renric, imagining it a mirror, you see, like looming over the bookshelf, based on the angle, what should be face, a presence, an apparition. You don't see it there physically, but you do see it reflected in the screen, almost too vividly to be a mistake. Speaking of vividly, you just chill in the hallway?
Yes. Well, at least keeping an eye on everything.
Sure, so you keep your eyes south?
Yes. Though not visibly because I don't have vision.
God, why?
Nor do I.
Damn, Renric being the protagonist.
Oh, am I the only? Oh wow.
Yeah,
the
you're the
person
only
with
one.
vision.
I
who can
was
see
wondering
things.
about that.
Alright.
I was hiding in the shadows.
This is the library. This is my domain.
Amazing. Yes.
Okay, so I'm looking at the screen and I see the reflection of a face above the bookshelf. Is that what you said?
More or less, yeah.
Okay, so if I turn around and look at where I saw it, do I see anything there?
Give me another was notice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Damn.
you managed to notice
Damn.
sort of like a flitting
Oh my
of
God.
like papers that have been, like stuffed into a scroll box on a shelf somewhere up there on like the second level that you need a step ladder to reach, or a ladder to reach, right? And you see a fluttering of papers, just as Cass is walking to the south, like one of those like library ladders like rolls down its tracks at her and kind of like stops nearby, like. And you definitely see like a fluttering of papers up here, Renric. And for a moment, it's like you can see a face dimly.
Oh my.
Oh boy.
And you see the papers flutter, and they flutter like behind it in a trail to the point where they almost like outline what could be like a shin or something. But the papers begin to fall off, so you don't know how long that trail is going to be active. Would you do anything in the moment?
I mean, my first reaction would be to call out to the other two and be like, "Guys, I think I see it right there."
I think it nearly hit me with that ladder. Not that I would have done much. Where? Can I look around and get a pinpoint for where the most recent pitter patter of fallen paper is?
So you're looking around on the first floor, but this is up like of ladder level, as it were. So if
Well,
you're
then
looking,
never mind. I swing myself up on the ladder.
yeah, so you hop up on the ladder, you climb a bit. Viv, how are you responding when you hear this?
And I would actually call to Viv to come over and take a look, knowing that she's the magic person.
Viv is gonna stand in the doorway, looking around and just trying to see, okay, if there's something going on, what exactly is it?
And I'm assuming Renwick's like pointing to the papers.
Yeah, I'm pointing at it, and
Yeah.
like I think I see the spirit very faintly.
And you see like a
amongst the
fluttering of
papers.
papers that look like they could be, like blown by the breeze. Like a strong breeze outside would be carrying these papers away, but there's no such breeze here right now. So There's no obvious
Incredible.
explanation for why it would be happening.
Um,
All right. Well, I'm trying to get up there.
Yeah, I would ask Cass if she could
Cast, you
take a look
see
at those
the
papers.
paper is still on the ground 10 feet from you.
Okay. Like I go there, I guess. Like,
So,
is there any
so you try
indication
and bump,
further?
you try and walk forward, and you feel something press against you, and there's sort of like a
That's
rent
exactly
in
what I
the air as a blue,
Jesus.
like figure appears, and as you reach out your hand, it intersects with them. Roll me a mental save.
I was gonna say I lunge forward and try and grab it.
All right, so
Nice.
yeah, you bat at the this immaterial entity. You can't. There's nothing to hold there. You grab at the air, but it's like something's forcing you back. You can't really hold it. Your hand passes through, although disturbed as it does. You guys
God
see
damn
it
it.
now. Everyone sees it, and it kind of like lifts up into the air for a moment, before taking on another face. This one with a hammer in hand and sweat on its brow. Before just sort of like dissipating up into the air above. It looks down at all three of you, but as it does, it points the hammer to the south, and it just sort of like vanishes.
I try to jump at it, lunging forward, probably not realizing I'm falling off of the second story.
You're gonna lunge like fucking 20 feet to the west?
I guess I
It was going straight
do
up.
fall 20 feet. Yeah.
It was going
Damn.
straight up.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I guess I don't then. Oh, wait. These things go down. I see. I see.
Yeah, you're up on like a second level here, yeah.
I thought these were like big towers of books, not the exact inverse. Very interesting design here.
No,
Okay, I climb up the ladder then.
no. You went up. You are
Yeah.
up here.
You were on top of bookcases.
I figured I was gonna fall then.
Yeah, you were going to fall if you ran off to the west. I'm just saying
Yes, that is what I was implying.
the ghost flew straight up and then you ran right under it.
It was
Which you
supposed to be comical, but we've analyzed this to the point of it not being comical, so I'm going to volunteer not to take that damage.
Sorry, I didn't understand what you meant. Anyway,
It is okay.
Oh well.
Well.
Missed
Cass makes a
opportunity.
smart decision and doesn't jump off 20-foot tall tower of books.
Renrick is still curious about what the papers were.
Oh,
So
I guess I didn't.
if
look
Cass
at them.
drops down, then he would go around and climb up.
you go around, you climb up, you do with the papers. You see that there is a series of notes here. They are written in a terse hand in a very like trisected column, and it looks like this is somebody's notes with dates attached, but the system for dates seems to reflect an older calendar system. You're going to have to either just know offhand or convert them. Could you give me an int no?
Sure.
Yeah, Renrick just is master of all calendars, lunar, solar, otherwise, and he
Keep rolling
manages.
God,
sixes.
hell yeah.
He manages to adjust for the situation, and Renrick thinks that there is nothing. So the messages more or less state that something called the Oculus it needed maintenance, and the maintenance log lists like unsuccessful attempts to fix it and a need for more resources, and eventually they talk about moving things out of the room and then eventually having it sealed. This happened 300 years ago.
Wow, that's actually really interesting.
These were loosely stuffed into a scroll box. The other scrolls seem to contain nature sketches and treatises on the use of local herbs, including those from the Falling Rock area, the Rising Rock Ridges, the place which, of course, functionally no longer exists, and
Yeah.
herbs which will never be gathered again. Yeah, so
Whoopsies.
yeah, but it does seem strange that this was stuffed in a scroll box with them, but maybe that was just, poor library keeping. Things get jumbled up over the centuries.
True enough. Okay, so Renric would take assuming it's not too many papers, he would take the dated logs down with him. And say, the scribe mentioned that the spirit is connected to the sealed area to the south. These papers seem to be talking about that exact thing.
Interesting.
And it says something about the Oculus. Don't know what that is, but it's something to keep an eye out for. So I guess we should go check that out.
Whatever, get this job done with faster.
All right.
Seems like
So
a smart idea.
is that down this way?
Always better to play offense, I say.
Indeed, indeed. Babe, you wouldn't happen to know anything about an Oculus, would you?
Oculus. Let me see if that name rings a bell. Let me think on it a moment. Can I do a magic wisdom roll?
While she does that, I'm gonna do a notice whiz.
Yeah, you can give me a magic whiz. Wait, why would it be a magic wisdom?
Seeing if Oculus is magical, just magical lore.
Sure. I mean, I might have said int, but I mean that works. I don't think there's a big difference between your modifiers, is there?
Yes, my intelligence is +0 and my wisdom is +1.
Okay, well you get an 8 then, because that's definitely an int. Imagine you know that. Yeah, you might be familiar with the concept of an Oculus as a remote scrying device.
Gotcha.
That sounds useful.
It's used as a it's been used in the Arcspire before to take a say nearby lands and such. I don't know why it would be sealed off. Is my question.
Yeah.
That seems rather
Why
useful.
don't we use
especially-
that?
Well, it seems like there is some trouble with maintaining it. So that might be
I
why.
wonder if it could be maintained more efficiently by the right people.
Would that
Well,
be you? Are you the right people, Cass?
Not necessarily.
So you guys
But
walk
if
into
you
the
ask
room.
me to,
There
sure.
are some lights on the tables. Some books here as well. Mostly screens. There is a surge of light from the central deck as you see a 3D representation of the planet lift up and rotate. You see the Arc lands and those beyond and further lands where the money is paper and the deep jungles grow. You see the distant lands to the south of the Artuans travel to and from. And the light flickers and shifts until finally the light begins to turn a blue hue. And you guys feel this place rumble a little. And as in the rafters, you begin to see a dislodging of these from these like tall arched ceilings of some fastened things. It looks like they're about to start falling. What do you do?
Hmm.
By the way, this isn't the sealed area, is it?
The door to the
This
south
probably
is the
is.
seal.
Okay.
I'm gonna rush over here, and how is it sealed?
There is a like metal door that is like set inside the rim and flush with the lips, as it were.
So it's not like welded shut?
No.
No. Can I finagle my very thin katana-like blade in between the cracks?
There's not a crack. Like it is
Yeah.
if you didn't see that there was a doorway here, it would be indistinguishable from a bit of metal wall. There's no like the blade doesn't go in. It doesn't go in.
So there's no way to do this through violence.
Alright, so you walk up and do that. Viv, what are you doing?
I'm going to hug a wall. I'm assuming it's not going to be falling near walls. Viv was always told as a young one to stay near the walls when earthquakes happen.
And Renrick? I'm assuming you're also going for the walls?
Yep, same. I step back.
Alright, so some stuff clatters to the ground. Doesn't particularly wind up hitting any of you. However, at around this time, you do see from the central blue light, there does emerge the visage of a woman. And she looks at you with great concern. And she looks to the south, and she looks to the north. And she is going to walk towards Cass. And at this point, and she's gonna try and like reach out to you, right? She reaches up a hand, and it looks like she should be saying something, but every time the words escape what would be her ghostly lips, they're just a warp whispering, gnawing at the edge of your ear, as if though urging you to turn your head and hear better, but you know it's just at the edge of perception, imperceptibly not there.
I stand stalwart and stare at her as she moves forward towards me.
Alright. She reaches out a hand. Give me a physical save. She passes her hands over your spikes, and you hear a whispering in the wind, saying, "Open the door." And yeah, that's what you hear. The face shifts, and it is no longer her, but rather a strange visage you see here. And this visage lashes out at you.
Now this I'm expecting.
Alright,
This I can handle.
so it is initiative time, gamers.
Oh
Oh
no.
my.
Oh dear.
So the ghost gal said open the door, and then she turned into Ghost Gal
Perfect.
Junior.
We all rolled the correct number.
What?
Yes, we did. Amazing.
Except for Lee.
777. No, it should have been a 711. Yeah, you're right. So what are the dex mod wise here? Does anybody have a nice dex to flex?
I have +0. My dex is 9.
I got a spicy +0, dex 11.
And Pat?
I'm going to also say that I have a +0. But it's 10.
Oh, we are the same character.
All right. The correct number of rolling indeed, John. So there is a ghastly force that lashes out at Cass, and it does not strike her, but you get the feeling there is danger and threat and intent as there is sort of a billowing that knocks over some of these fallen rafters, and you see a sort of like the light from the central terminal. The hologram of the planet warps again. This blue light suffusing the purple diagram, and you see fault lines burning bright. against the dull brown of the scriptorium hallway, and it feels like as this phantasm makes its presence known and harries you, this screen flickers. And yeah, it is Viv's turn.
Viv's gonna walk out and stare at this spirit and says, "Be gone, spirit," and points, and hopefully it goes away.
Are you gonna cast a spell, or are you just
She's
very
just
hopeful?
yelling at it initially.
All right, give me a charisma convince. All right.
All right, there's an 8.
The spirit turns and definitely has noticed you. You don't
Oh, no.
immediately see a different reaction.
Well, I'm going to ready. I suppose I'll ready a coffin if it gets any closer to me.
Sure, clock yourself.
All right.
So you've got it ready.
No.
Oh my god. Viv is coiled up as a cobra prepared to strike. So that's the Viv. That's the Viv go. Cass, it's your turn. This ghost is like making a pass at you. What do you do?
Okay.
Tell it to buy you lunch first.
I mean, yeah, that's a real play here. I'm gonna look around real quick. Have I noticed it capable of interacting with things around me?
You're
Can it
standing
be touched
on
by
the floor next to this sort of like bulbous thing that has like a green glow to it. And there's nothing like free or loose to be knocked around. Some of the fallen debris has moved near it, but all the debris shook and fell sort of right ahead of its drop, and some of the stuff is still being disturbed. I mean, there's a pulse of the light. There's it in the chaos of battle.
does
You
it
couldn't
look
say
identical
that
to
you've
the
seen it
thing?
push anything.
Yeah. So it looks similar to the thing that I tried to lunge at earlier while it
In
was
the
on
same
me.
way that two like beige pillowcases look the same or similar, yes. But it is so formless and like oblique that it is not like you're like, oh, this is exactly the same thing definitively after having seen both once. There's no side-by-side
All right.
comparison here.
I'm gonna fucking try then, at the very least, just to prove that it won't work in the future. A good longsword swipe.
Alright, so you swing your blade. Your blade flies right through this being, and you do seem to cause it some discomfort as it disjuncts and its center is slashed through with a, and you see it correct itself and whizzle back like a TV tuned back to the correct frequency slowly but lesser. You don't think that you've actually dealt serious damage to it in the way that you should have, but you have disturbed it.
Hmm. And I would follow up by moving here and say, I can't open the door, but if you can, feel free.
Alright, it is Renrick's turn.
Okay. Renerick sees everything that's going on. He's noticed that this blue display thing in the middle is acting weird.
Mm-hmm.
Would Renerick know what the display thing is ahead of time? Like, has...
Yeah, you've been here before. You know that it can be used to query geographic data about the world and to get what is more or less like a satellite 3D recording of the world from tens of thousands of years ago and like manipulate it with your hands and like zoom in on it. And that is the primary function of this terminal. It also has some other information about the atmosphere.
Okay. So I would go up to this terminal. Oops, I have the wrong thing. There we go. And like, well, sort of like glancing over at Cass and the ghost to, make sure that Cass is okay. He would try to understand what's happening with this terminal. See if there's anything that stands out. Like, is the ghost trying to indicate something in particular, some location,
I
stuff
would
like
say
that?
give me an int notice.
All right.
Yeah, so you see that there's like these fault lines that are burning below the surface, and a cursory examination of them doesn't look like tectonic plates and continents as far as you're aware those concepts are supposed to work. And it does seem like several of them intersect somewhere just north of the Arklands, where the Grim Empress has her stronghold on the coast. There is sort of a shimmer in the blue light, and as you look through it, elements of the planet give way to almost seemingly like make continents and islands and deep water trenches form like a pushed out like spear, all pointing their own tips towards that green like recessed bubble on the floor that is Cass is next to. And for some reason, the way that it frames it is pretty clear to you that something is trying to frame both that button and the door. And then it sort of like shifts back and points right through you, right past you. And then things sort of break and shimmer, and other than the weird blue fault lines, there's nothing else to gather there other than you feel as if though if your hands were to physically disturb this projection, you might cause something to happen.
Is that how you normally interact with the terminal?
Yeah, normally when you like reach out a hand and like you can like spin the planet or hold the planet to examine.
Okay, so Renrick would like reach out to maybe zoom in on the intersection of
Yeah, so you
lines.
reach out to zoom in on as your hands pull away. There is like at first like a tingling all over your hands, like static electricity, and then there is a jolt as lightning dances from both of your hands. Give me a physical save.
Oh, shocking.
Okay.
Electrified.
Roll me a d6.
Oh.
For a moment, the ghostly visage of this entity becomes jolted, as if though a PS1 creature swinging on the axis of their animation briefly T-posing as it contorts itself into a strange shape, its limbs more polygonal than a ghost should be, and it is as if though you Darth Pelagius the Wise it with lightning as light dances from the sphere. It doesn't reach it physically in the air, and yet you see what should be dual strike marks on it as you deal as much damage as Cass's longsword did, to dissipating it and causing it to faint and flow away. There's little streams of dancing glyphs off of its back as you've just seared open holes near its shoulder blades, less corporeal, less ethereally present and glimmering than they were before. More dull hue.
Oh.
Yeah, and you feel a bit of a jolt from that Renrick, so you do take one strain from like the shock, but you don't take any damage.
Gotcha.
And this entity, wheeling away, moves away from Cass. Cass, I'm assuming you want to op.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Alright, swing.
Swing, bada, swing. Ooh, I jinxed it.
You miss, luckily, because as you see your blade pass nearby, there is like a dance of blue lightning from the shoulder of the entity to like the tip of your blade. And it's almost like, like obviously you got some insulation in terms of your hilt, but you're wearing a lot of metal. So that could have gone poorly if that had danced down to the crossguard.
Yeah, I see your point.
This creature rounds upon Viv and reaches out and like puts its hands on her shoulders and like brings its face inwards towards Viv. Viv, roll me a mental save.
Do I get to roll a kill it save
Oh yeah,
first?
because you were ready to pop it. Yeah, so
Yeah, I was ready. No touchy, no
oh yeah,
touchy.
pop
Bad
your
touch.
shot, pop your shot.
Shot status popped. It needs to make a physical save. I'm not sure how good it is at that.
All
Or it
right.
takes 3d6 damage. Does it perchance have one hit dice? Ah, fuck.
Well, it looks like the coruscant coffin like stabs inward as it is boxed in for a moment, and then it reaches out and it's like its whole body has turned. Wait, okay, yeah. So you're dealing.
Half damage.
So the damage you rolled is a meme. That's not any of the dice. The whole 3d8 has been rolled here, right?
Yeah, that was her
Oh, no,
last
that's only
roll.
1d8. I didn't update that. Whoops.
Okay,
It's
good.
1d8 per level.
And you're
Yeah.
level 3. Okay, yeah. So it's up at 1 gaming as you make me a mental save.
Fuck. So should I roll 2d6? Oh yeah, fuck you. No saves for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. You feel as if though it's trying to like press something into your mind.
Stop that.
But yeah. You wince a little. Give me a whiz no.
All right, let's see if I can know things. Spoilers, probably can't.
You never know.
Now
I
know
rarely
this.
know.
Do. You know. Enroll no notice. Do. This I know. Yeah. So you have this like image in your mind of like a brown book with 4 golden bands on the spine and a sigil like a shepherd's crook hooked too hard as if though a thieving implement meant for some sort of amorphous raccoon creature. You now you feel as if though you could recognize this tome if you were to see it, but you're not sure what it is or why you know about it. This entity shrieks terribly. All 3 of you roll me another mental save.
Oh boy.
Cass is an absolute queen of mental saves.
Wow, I'm
All right.
rolling hot
So
dice.
Cass,
Nice.
you take
Very
1
nice.
strain, and
that sounds right.
you take half speed on your next turn as the body rings from the shriek. Wow, yeah. How did I forget the word? I'm forgetting the word again. Anthropomorphic. Wow. All right.
Anthropomorphic raccoon.
Yeah. So
Did you say
Viv,
Sly
amorphous?
Cooper.
I did. I literally spent
What is like-
5 seconds trying to remember what the fucking word was and said amorphous even though I knew it was wrong. Viv, what do you do?
Well,
Amazing.
I think I am going to seeing its flicker. I'm going to reach into my pack for something I have long since avoided using and pull
Oh
forth
my.
a small hand mirror with a missing slot on the back.
Yep.
Oh my god.
You hold it up, and the figure, as the figure looks, you see a pull at its face, as if though a height map exaggerating, extruding elements of a nose, brow, jaw coming into sharp relief against the recessed crevasse of the lips, the nostrils, the eyes, and this like elongated, like drawn out pixel face, like polygonal face, kind of like ruptures and shakes a little as it gazes upon its own reflection. Can you drop the text for me of the hand mirror?
The magic mirror. I don't think I have a text. I think all I have written down here is it does 1 damage and strain to me and does 1d4 damage to a target.
Well, thankfully I have the marionette mirror right here. Yeah. Okay, it has to make a mental save.
Yes, I have a Jorvik and a dagger, but I don't have a mirror in my weapons.
For the best.
It failed its mental save.
Oh, thank goodness.
Roll a d4 and then spend the movement speed.
Take a terrible 1 damage.
Yeah, well,
Go
they were
away.
up 1 gaming, so yeah, they do. But as they like begin to fade into nothingness, what direction do you point them in?
I'm going to point them, I suppose, this way, northwest.
They fly. They cause like the lines on the screen to shimmer, and this strange device to go, and you hear coming from it terrifyingly. Before this entity fades away, breaking fractally into nothing, almost like shattering shards of glass.
Oof.
Well, that was freaky.
It's hard to open this door.
Yeah, and it seemed to be linked to this this holographic display.
Yeah, the display, by the way, goes back to normal after the ghost goes away.
Okay.
Interesting.
But Renrick, you did like commit to memory like the location that you zoomed in on. But the
Awesome.
evidence is now faded.
I say that the display seemed to point toward this thing here, this green thing, and also behind me, maybe in the other room we were in. So, what is this green thing?
Yeah, so it is a. It looks like it is something that is meant to be depressed. It's kind of like a bubble up out of the floor. It glows faintly green. If you had to make an educated guess, you would say it's part of the door mechanism. But you don't have anything particular to this door, and you don't really come across this a lot in your work.
Is it a button? Do you like push it?
Yeah, can you press it down?
If you try and step on it, it doesn't go down. It just is slightly inconvenient to stand on.
Okay.
Okay.
So is it like a glowing? Is the entire thing glowing?
It's kind of more like there are like pits into like glowing elements within.
Can I stick my hands into those pits?
Of
More
course you
like when you see there's a metal thing and there's like a recessed glass bit that the light is coming out of. So you go dink on the glass.
Okay, fair enough. So there's really no manipulating this device.
You could give me a whiz notice to try and like really like dig down and find something, but at the moment it doesn't seem to be.
I might just try. Okay.
Yeah, you don't really find anything to manipulate here.
Fair enough.
Alright.
Well,
I'm
did
gonna
anybody
go
else
check
get
out
any
the other
hits?
room.
Because I'm about to go ask the person up top that we usually confer with to give me some sort of incendiary device for this goddamn door.
You do not suspect the incendiary device would burn the metal.
Renner also quickly opposes that idea for fear of book safety.
Typical organist.
No, it doesn't seem like I have anything in here that would help. And she closes her spell book. Perhaps we could look around a bit in this room or the library and see if there's any mention of how it was sealed back in the scroll case.
I suppose. It does
Sure,
seem like a lot of work for little reward.
Yeah, hey, Renrick, you have all the notes. And when it mentions the ceiling, it does mention that a local lock was engaged to lock it from the outside. And based on the description of it being like really close to the door, you think that the local lock refers to this green glowing thing here.
Okay. So yeah, I point that out. I'm like, it seems like we should be able to open it from here. We just need to figure out how.
Well, if it doesn't involve me randomly pushing buttons, then I think I'm gonna have to sit this one out.
If Renrick looks at the green globe, would he figure anything else out?
You can give me a whiz notice.
Alright. Wow.
Renrick, you do know that there is faintly visible a manipulable element. It looks like there is something like a keyhole at 4 corners of this sphere.
So like four different keyholes?
Yeah, but it also looks like there's something in them. Like when you look in, there should be like the tumblers inward. It's like there's something like set into these grooves that could come out somehow.
I poke at it. Do I accomplish anything?
Just poking, not really. You know that it's firm. I would say testing it, you feel like it's like spring-loaded or something such that it can pop out, but you're not triggering the mechanism just by pushing in the keyhole into the bit that's meant to pop out.
Okay.
All right. What if we did this all at the same time?
That might work, but
Viv, you do, as you like look at the keyhole, you do think back to that like golden sigil on the side of the book that was pressed into your mind. Something that seems familiar about it.
The four bands on the side, or the crook shape.
The crook shape.
Okay, one moment. And she flips to an empty page in her thing, and she says, "When the ghost touched me, and I am fine cast, don't worry. It drew a shape that looked a bit like," and she makes the sigil shape on the page. "Do either of you recognize this, or have seen anything similar to it? I think it might be useful."
Well, it looks like a shepherd's crook. One of them back.
I'm not sure if I've seen anything like that here. Where?
Well,
what
you've been in this library a few times, or you've been in the scriptorium a few times, Renrick. I would say you could roll me a connect int.
Ooh.
All right.
Love rare combos like
An
that.
intelligent connection. Having noticed a book before, you feel like you've definitely seen it before. It's probably in the scriptorium, but you couldn't say where.
Let's ask a scribe about it. I think I have seen it around here somewhere. But there's a lot of books to look through, so some extra help would be great.
All right, fine. You two go check the scribe. I'll make sure that nothing fucked up comes down here.
Can do. All right, Renrick. Where did that lovely lady run off to?
She's over at her
Cass is
table
gonna
around the
continue
corner.
trying to fiddle this and
Yeah, they're
door
over
thing and
here.
trying to open it by herself.
All right. Give me a Dex Sneak -2 test. Pass.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not
Minus
really
two,
trying to be subtle about it.
No, but sneak is the skill used to pick locks.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you.
Jesus. Surprisingly good, all things considered.
Yeah, roll me a luck save.
Holy shit.
Nothing particularly happens that you see.
Okay.
Yeah,
She
so,
never even knew how much danger she was in.
So Renrick, the script keeper turns and is like, "Oh, hello there," and upon being presented with this sigil, he's like, "Oh, yes. I'm familiar with that. It is a latter-day transliteration of a certain security terminal for certain maintenance apparati, in particular localized locks. Oh, You wouldn't happen to be trying to open the door to the sealed section, would you?
We're trying to find out as much about it as we can.
Yes, well,
Is there a concern about it?
there's no particular concern. It's been closed so long as I've had my tenure here. To the best of my understanding, the apparatus behind the door is defunct. But the lock was, it's locked from the outside, so...
Right.
It's not like we're trying to keep random people in the Scriptorum out, but opening it, she thinks about it a little. Roll me a D100, Renrick.
Ah.
She's like, well, I'm sure
Nice.
an Arcanist such as yourself has a priority for the good upkeep of the Arcspire, so there's no harm in letting you know that should it become necessary. If you check the racks on the, IC4 side, the third row, you should find a tome with that symbol on the side of it, and it should detail everything you need to know about locally
Fantastic.
opens its locks. Yeah, so she basically tells you exactly where to find the book.
That is a huge help. And of course, Renrick knows exactly what location they mean.
Yeah, you're like, oh, the Dweed decimal system known throughout the Arcspire, of course, and you fucking pop right up. See, everyone loves the Arcanist indeed, James. Let's pop up.
Oh, Renrick, you do. You saved me an entire spell. Thank you so much. That could have gotten messy.
A spell. What? You were going to mind slave them?
No, I was simply going to convince them of our argument.
Yeah, so you come up here, you pick up a book.
Manually.
It's got a brown leather cover with 4 gold bands on the spine that wrap around to the front and back, and this symbol of this golden crook on the middle of the spine. Opening it up, it begins with user recognized. Operating procedure. A string of numbers with some decimals you don't understand, and V9.04. You don't really get what any of this beginning shit is, but you've seen it all the time at the beginning of terminals. So you can tell that this book is literally somebody, like, swiping through a terminal and hand transcribing everything in order, including writing down, like, what the buttons said.
So all of that text is, like, written down on the page. It's not like it turned on like a computer.
Nope, this shit is, like, vellum.
Wow.
You do encounter, depending on the period of Arcspire history, a little bit of cargo cult thinking. And they didn't... Whoever wrote this down didn't necessarily know what they were writing down, but for any of a variety of reasons, they needed to be able to move the information from where it was to elsewhere.
Good lord, that sounds
I
tedious.
love this world building.
Me too, actually. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, so you flip through, and after several introductory pages and things that seem to be like menus that got written down that you obviously can't click on, you manage to make it to portions of the book that seem super relevant. And this one is about local lock operation, and it says recognized members of the crew members with Concordat ensign tier and above recognition are able to engage and disengage localized locks found embedded around the floor in the following way, yada yada yada. You see how it's done. You see that there's a section on manually unlocking them, and it involves 4 like things jutting out of the side, and then a certain tool being deployed that looks like it's a hook. A crook like the one like written on the side of this book, right? And there's a diagram, which is like a hand like trace of something that would have appeared on a screen. It's sort of in the same way as IKEA furniture will very obviously show you how to put together your Fjorgsen, the next new member of your family who will hold lamps for his life. You see here how to manipulate And by hooking around what appears at first glance to be like a flat rim that's like slightly elevated on the top of the bulb that's like pops up, you can hook in this hook, pull it, and then 4 rods will swing out, and then you rotate each of them 90 degrees, and the lock will pop open.
Quite an elaborate mechanism.
Yeah, there's also like there's an interesting part of the diagram. There's 3 circles, right? And it says A, B, and C. There's nothing differentiating them. But under one, it says general purpose. Under one, it says depressurized. Under one, it says biohazard. And another, it's like fire or something. So there's like 4 or 5 different like circles, and they tell you different reasons one might have locked the door, like a color coding schema maybe, but there's no color here because this has all been put down in the same color ink.
Renner has a thought. Does it seem possible to, since this book seems to have like terminal screens and menus and stuff, would it be possible to follow some of the info in the book to bring it up on the terminal?
You could try that, although you do know that for a very long time, the terminals of the Arcspire have had what could be considered a spotty connection to one another, and nobody has the means to restore them. So it's possible that this terminal... I mean, it's possible that this shit was written down from the terminal in the same room that you're in. You actually have no way of knowing. But if it's from a terminal somewhere in the Arcspire, it's possible you won't be able to pull it up, but you could try. You could absolutely try. I would say it's an int no to try and, like, recall everything that you know from the terminals and use the information you have with the book to try and walk up here and just... boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, absolutely. So int no.
You flit across the oil slick black screen and summon forth several different lines and switches of text and glyphs, and you look around and you do find a reference to the localized locking methods in what appears to be some sort of like fire drill ass infographic. It's hard to determine, and it's definitely been designed for Shenta, who, you know, float. But it's overall a pretty interesting diagram, and what you do notice is that the screen normally is just black, and it's like this oil slick black and then blue on top, but the circles do light up different colors. And green is supposed to be the general purpose lockdown color.
So, like, not indicating a particular hazard or anything.
Yeah, if it was a biohazard or a fire or something like that, or a breach into the void of space, it should be a different color.
Okay. Cool. And everything I've seen so far indicates that we need to physically manipulate the circle.
This is done. These are the local locks, precisely because they can be done physically, locally. And that manual said in case of the need to undo it, like, you know, just like by hand. So you don't think it's the only way, but you think it's the most straightforward way.
Gotcha. Okay. I would like flip through the rest of the book, kind of making sure that he's low-key checking to see if someone left one of the little crook things in the book itself.
So you look, you don't find one, like, hidden between the pages, but you do hear, like, a shift behind you. And Viv and Cass, you're both in this room, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys are looking around, you're finding stuff. You don't see or hear this, but Renrick, you turn around and you see like almost like a ghostly blue apparition, and kind of like knocks a package, like a thick brown paper package on one of these shelves, and it tears a little as you see the tip of a crook falling out of it before the apparition disappears again.
Well, what a helpful ghost. I go over and I pick it up.
Yeah. +1
Oh,
Sly
yeah.
Cooper cook.
Really wants us to go this direction. So.
+1 ghost friendship.
Yeah. Okay, so Renerick, with all of that, would go down to meet back up with everyone else and explain everything he found, including the fact that this thing is green means that it should be safe on the other side, or at least it's not a biohazard or a fire. And yeah, he shows the little hook thing, and
Excellent. I think I needed that to finish what I was doing over here. Look, I managed to get all the other stuff done.
awesome. You know what, Cast, here, do you want to open it? And he hands over the
Sure.
Oh, are
cork.
we opening this?
suppose.
Okay. One moment, and Viv waves and says, "I will stand back here. I will be perfectly prepared for whatever happens next."
Alright, so Renrick, you've got the tool, you've got the know-how. This is gonna be a Dex craft or a Dex work with a modifier of 2. Whoever wants to make that test can make that test. But that's what you'd be doing to hook under the limb and pull it to deploy the 4 rods.
Okay.
Did my sneak earlier do nothing towards this?
You would no, well, because you weren't manipulating the same part of it. With a naked eye, with a naked eye to your understanding, the thing that Renrick is having to put the hook in doesn't look like anything that you could put anything into. And it's not the hole that you were poking in. You were manipulating a different part of it.
Another hole. I was poking in the wrong hole. Oh no.
Okay. So in that case, I guess Renrick would do it himself and go for it. So you said a Dex craft?
Craft or work?
Either works.
They're the same for me, so...
And a modifier of 2.
+2.
Hey, you hook it in. 4 of these manage to come out. They stick in all directions from the holes after you do this, and you can rotate the little like spigot twist on the end 90 degrees, and when they're all rotated, the door to the south should unlock.
Alright, so do that.
Alright, yep.
You guys step around. Renrick, your back is to it when you hear as sort of like a pneumatic release of gas.
Excellent.
And you see a chamber beyond, glistening.
Oh, listening. No explosions? No explosions?
No explosions.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the hits of air.
Lifts her dress and steps daintily over the assembled parts. And...
Renrick steps
it is beautiful.
across the threshold.
Yeah, there's sort of this golden wall with strange blue bits. Deep perception of this, there's something that looks kind of like the lock, but larger and different in some ways in terms of its curvature, its form, the shape its surface takes, also glowing a green light. And there's these 4 pillars in the corners of the room, and there's 2 large, elaborate double doors to the south.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you get the strange carving on all the walls.
What if I walk onto this blue tile? Do I get trapped?
You get trapped?
Am I incapable of breathing now?
Good question, Mr. Days. Yes, there have been a few ghosts. No, when you step on it, though, you do see there's like a bit of like a pulse, and your vision goes blue, and you feel almost like cold and short of breath. Give me a physical save.
Wait, did I ask?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
You asked for it.
And as Cass steps here, you take 1 system strain and 2 damage. As Cass steps here, you see the apparition of the woman from earlier right here. A scribe of some sort, perhaps. And she kind of looks like she's walking in the same direction the Cass is, almost parallel to her, before distorting in that same polygonal fashion, becoming less detailed, and then wiggly wobbling out in a crackle of static electricity as lightning dances off of Cass's armor.
Oh my.
And yeah, you feel disquieted and cold while standing on this blue stone, Cass. Yes, Renner?
That's uncomfortable.
Is there any kind of writing somewhere?
No, all of this is like it looks like it's either meant to be ornate or serve some purpose that you do not quite recognize. You could give me I would say an int magic. Anybody who wanted to examine it. The walls.
Kind of looks like the inside of those
And
like
this- and this
glowy books that you like.
And this is a lower area. For this road, there's like a 5 or 10 foot lower area in the center.
No, so you
Once
can
when
start
I
with
was
that.
younger, I got in trouble for bashing
Well,
one of those things.
there's a ladder here. Yeah,
Several pieces. On
Renrick,
the inside, there was some like.
Renrick, you don't
stuff
understand. You don't quite get what you're looking at. It looks like some sort of magical mechanism, but you're not quite sure what. Viv, you see something very interesting.
Oh.
The curvature of these and the fact that they meet in these blue and white segments and what you saw with Cass gets your noggin jogging. And as you close in on the 4K mark, you begin to really feel like you're marathoning into something profound because you've been noticing something strange about the spirits here. The arc spirits are normally quite friendly, and you can communicate with them somewhat normally, and they come and they go, but they're benevolent, or they're wandering or mournful. You haven't detected a distinct emotional malevolence or lack thereof from this spirit that harried you, nor from the one that's trying to help you. And the face dances. It's almost like they're a ghost, but not the same kind, or a presence. You're not quite sure what to make of it, other than you think that these circuitries are related.
There's something going on here. I'm not exactly sure what. I've probably heard that before, Renrick.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Is it so? Is this this black area a platform that you can
So
walk around on?
that's a floor that you can climb down to. It's like 5 feet down. There's a ladder here. It seems to have been installed later.
Yeah, Viv obviously shares what she's learned with the class, just making sure.
So Cash,
I hop down.
you hop
it
down.
looks like another door.
It looks like another lock, but larger and differently shaped, perhaps with different purpose.
So
Renrick,
I would actually, before
Renrick.
popping down, I would like to go see if these doors open.
The doors, when you approach, make a shunting kind of sound, and you hear, and I don't. You see, like, maybe in the afterglow of the cold weirdness, a suggestion of glyphs floating in the air in front of the door, but it's gone just as it appears.
Yep, let's go check out the lock.
Yeah. And Viv, you don't have any sort of magic sight, right? Like, you just have mundane eyes.
Yes, I don't have magic eyes, sadly.
Would you like them?
Although, I thought you
Where
had
can I
something that you
get
could
them
use
for
to
you?
whatever. You're not using it. Alright, so... Yeah, sure, anyway, you can climb down if you'd like, Viv.
I'm good up here. It's
Yeah, so, Renrick, there's a big thing. It's got some sections that are kind of like the curved out bit before. It looks like there's, again, 4 places. If you stood directly to the north, directly to the south, directly to the east, directly to the west. These vents are going to be like too hilariously large to actually represent what they should, but, you know, I'm putting them here for gameplay purposes. What do you want to do, Renrick?
Well, it's like the
Ryanx
other
wants
one,
to
isn't
see
it,
if
Ryan?
he can interact with the mechanism the same way as the lock outside.
I'll facilitate it.
Yeah, so so you're using a crook on it, so
Yeah.
You dive the crook in, you twist, and the rods do in fact stick out of all 4 directions. When you do that, there is a glow, and there's a buzz. And Viv, could you please declare for me, are you actually up a level, or...
Yes, I'm up a level.
Okay, but you're not, so you're not on the ladder at the moment.
No, I'd be about here if I wasn't locked in.
Yeah, into the... I know, I see, I understand. Yeah, you're in that 5-foot square, but you're not down on it. I just wanted to confirm that. A pair of ghostly figures appear in the center of these blue spaces, and a teal sort of, actually a golden glow appears at these 4 rods. The air is like full with this static electricity. You guys get the sense that like things are about to be in motion. What do you do, like, as this happens? Do you want to try and start getting to work on opening this up? Do you want to try and take a hostile action? Do you want to try and take in what's happening?
Renric would first observe, but he is...
Renric, keep
Red.
opening the door.
Yeah, he's ready to keep working on the mechanism.
Give me a whiz notice, right?
Viv? I don't know if you can do anything, but I don't know. I got the one that isn't the one I'm pointing at.
I understand. I'm keeping an eye on it.
Alright, so Viv,
Jeez.
what are you doing?
Viv is going to keep her distance. You know, keep
Renric,
something.
you would know. Renric would note that all of the golden walls are dancing with the same, with a visible thrumming energy, as if though rotating, or the curve of the desert in the distance formed by a mirage. It fucks with the horizon, and this disturbance, Renric, you feel is like an electrical disturbance. You feel like touching these walls right now is a bad idea. You don't think the ladder up and down is safe. And you think these pillars are particularly unsafe, the ones that Viv is next to.
Viv is hiding behind.
But the energy running through them seems to relate to this blue light that's on these walls. You feel like if you were to disturb that, maybe you would influence the room in some way. But you also know that it feels like this isn't... You've activated the functions of the Arcspire before. This doesn't feel like an intentional feature of the Arcspire. This feels like something's gone haywire. That's what you get from your Wisdom Notice.
Oh boy. Viv, I think you should stay away from that pillar there.
Oh, this one? Oh dear. Okay.
This
This
doesn't
one,
seem
she
very
says,
stable.
poking it.
Basically, something like that.
Alright, so what Renric instantly does is look around and notice stuff. What Viv instantly does is back up, right?
At least a foot. I'd say she'd still be in her square, but like, you know.
But so you're in this 5-foot square adjacent to this pillar.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless I'm being told to like literally dive for something.
You do what you do when given that information. Cass, what do you do when this immediately begins to unfold? You could begin working on rotating these rods 90 degrees to unlock.
Yeah. Actually, if I would like to rotate these two, I guess, and then kind of stand guard here.
Immediately, you have time to rotate one of them. Which one do you choose?
Well, I was over here, so I'm gonna rotate this one and then stand over here.
The southern one? Okay.
That's where I was.
Yeah, sort of a light glows near there, as if in confirmation.
And I'll stand here then.
Yeah, alright, so you're all stanced up where you are. Viv, give me an evasion rate roll with advantage, because Renric forewarned you, as lightning crackles and a wave of energy buffets out from the pillar.
Alright. Evasion roll, right?
Mm-hmm. There's
Surely
a crackle
one
of
these will be
lightning,
successful.
like smoked hands,
So
as
close.
you take 2 damage and gain 1 system strain.
Ooh.
Alright.
And
We did it, everyone.
It is now indeed initiative time.
Yeah, you survived a hit.
Ooh, a 6 and a 9.
True.
A moment of
Just
nice.
to confirm, did I take damage from using the mirror against the ghost previously?
You did take 1
That should
damage
be
from that.
fine.
All right. I am at 25% system strain.
All right, yeah, your
Oh,
skin begins to firm up
God.
and become more porcelain, more milky
Perfect.
white.
I'm sure I look great.
Oh, we're rolling initiative.
Maybe you are. I'm purring.
All right.
Well,
So,
That's a 3.
Rolling initiative sounds like a normal person thing to do.
all right. So, it looks like it is a ghost's turn. This ghost kind of like flies down towards Cass and seems to fly through several different faces and stances. None of them seem to have a particular intent behind them. That is unique to here. Some of them are in the process of crafting, some of them in the process of fighting, others in the process of soliloquizing with grand gesticulations. This swapping series of ghostly visages sort of begins to unfurl around you. And their actions swoop forward to intersect upon you.
Oh, that's cool.
Roll me an evasion save. The hands reach
Didn't think
out.
so.
You suffer 8 damage.
Holy
Ooh.
shit!
Ow.
Ow.
The ghosts come in from either side, and your body begins to shake.
Damn. Ghost me more, dad/mommy.
Yeah, so
Rennie.
this ghost descends towards Renrick and reaches out towards him. She seems to shift in that her face rotates and her head rotates, and she is joined by 2 extra phantasms. She seems as if though trapped in some important speech, but what comes out of her mouth is a sound more like what you heard when Cass tried to open the door. Lightning dancing along the walls. She reaches out towards you, Renrick, and her mob is approaching from either side. Give me an evasion save.
Oh boy.
You manage to go unharmed. Infuriated by this, she withdraws, and the teal light glows strongly below her as she's up along the wall, floating there. Cass, it is your turn. What do you want to do?
Okay. So, how? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this key.
Yeah, that's gonna be your action. You okay with it?
Mhm.
All right. You
And what
turn
was I
the
told
key.
about these walls? Are they electrified?
Yeah, if they seem to be,
They do seem to be electrified.
then Renark would have warned about that as well.
Okay. I'm gonna try and get here. I'm assuming there's some sort of attack of opportunity.
The ghosts, yeah, they try and reach out. They don't hit you.
Well, all right. Can I actually just be here? If that's within my move.
Yeah, it's within your move. You want to? Well, you have to stand on the spot to do the action, though. Because remember, it's just really like it's a smaller like hole right there. You have to be standing. Yeah.
There's where I will be.
And you want to use your main action to open her up, or you've already done that this turn, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Okay, Viv, it's your turn.
Booyah. Okay,
You've
well,
been zapped
let's
by
hope
this
we don't all
pillar.
die.
There's ghosts to your south. Here I am, stuck in the ghost middle with you.
Exactly.
Stuck in the giddle.
The Giddle.
The
Excited.
ghost middle.
Can ghosts sleep? Can ghosts sleep?
Did they dream of
Roll
ghosty
me,
sheep?
roll me an int prey.
Hint pray. Oh, 2 skills that I have definitely invested in. 2 things that Viv does a lot: thinking and a higher power, her two favorite things in the world. It was set to ask because I had never done this before.
You don't really know the answer to that question.
Cool, great. Well, assuming you two aren't going to die, I'm just going to cast the resounding temporal echo on all of us, and yeah, we're all going to be a bit
Nice.
faster.
All right, yeah, you all do
We
the
love
Final Fantasy
that.
X double move
3
animations.
turns.
Wow.
And I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Goodbye.
Okay, so you're going to the door.
I can't take
Abscond.
I can't take half of a hit that
Mhm.
these people do.
All right, yeah. So you
I
make
love
it.
Vivian so much.
You make it to the doorway. You see that like the edge of the doorway under close inspection is also like clattering with energy.
Ah,
You
Christ.
want to hop through?
Well, I can't hop through right now, so maybe next turn I'll hop through. But for now,
I mean,
I'm gonna
look at it this
stand
way:
here.
you can't stand in the door frame without getting zapped. But I
Oh.
would let you give me a Dex or Strength exert to try and like dodge roll through.
I will wait here until I
This
can
bulb
carefully
also
go through
shouldn't
next
be
time because
green
I'm.
anymore. All right, Renrick, it is your turn. What do you want to do?
Okay, so
Have you rotated the thing under you? I don't think has been rotated yet.
it has not. And I see the ghosties up on the wall. Right. Are they doing anything in particular with the wall, or are they just kind of there?
You see the teal energy behind her is building, as if though she might unleash it through, I don't know, some means on her next turn if she's not disturbed from that course of action.
Quick, Renrick, seize the means of ghostly energy production.
Surely.
Okay, well, while he's next to the lever, he would flip it.
All right, yeah, you take that, you twist it and reverse that 90-degree rotation. Yeah, you guys are 3 of 4.
And then he would step forward and try to violently interrupt said ghost.
All right, so your action is going to be the rotate, but you can just like move up to her and like be in her space.
I'm gonna use the temporal echo effect.
Oh shit! All right, give me that
Fuck
attack.
yeah, get it.
Give me that swing as you go double time, boop, pop them.
Fuck the action economy. Print more money. Yeah, why can't they just print more actions?
Yeah, actionflation. That's when the action. That's
dang
when the
it.
inflation fetishists win.
I
Yeah.
pissed off all the
So
Pathfinder players by asking why they can't
you
print more
do
actions.
shock damage, rock'em sock'em once. Are you at any degree of? Are you 25% or more system strain, Renrick?
No, I'm at 2 out of 11.
Here's what happens. You give a good solid thwack to her body, run through the body, and slam the metal below. As you feel yourself go cold, you get like a shock to your system. Like, ugh. Give me a physical save.
Will do. That
You
is
take
a
one
failure.
system strain and no damage. She is like knocked back and dissipated, and the glowing energy sort of diffuses. In fact, it looks like right now the lower wall is presently safe. It's not overcharged. So you've by your actions made it safe to come up and down this wall for the moment.
Perfect.
Awesome.
But
And
that's
also,
Surely I will use that.
that put me at 25%.
yeah. As you hand pull it away, it goes like stony and like dribbling with little like dust flecks. And yeah, it's you're feeling
We have
physically
art
punchy.
for,
Yeah.
later on.
This ghost has their turn. They don't want to let Cass do what she's doing. They come up
Well, they
between
should
Cass
come and
Viv.
try and stop me.
The ghosts pop up all around you. They
Grab
dance.
mode activate.
They dance. They don't actually seem to be coming at you, like walking. They seem to like pop and like flicker in and out in 5-foot bursts and dance in several different ways. they come and try and descend upon you as one.
Mm-hmm.
And with the
Saw this
pluses
trick
that they're getting,
before.
that's not gonna break a 15. So, here's the thing: they do still deal their shock damage because it's a swarm attack. You take 2 damage.
Kinky. Let's fucking go.
This woman is sort of like dissipated, and she's flickering. She lets out a howl. Her face twists back again a further 180 degrees, revealing another face in the back. Her body opens up, and you see a beam of blue light. These two seem to disappear and then reappear around Cass.
Oh no.
Cass, roll me an evasion save as the ghost hands press inwards.
Good night,
Notoriously
Cass.
great at these.
Yeah, so like the hands are reaching out,
Nice.
all of these like ghostly, ghastly, flickering lights around you as it is your turn, Cass. They don't manage to get you. You're moving too fast. What do you do?
Honey Badger don't care, she says to herself as she turns the thing. Honey Badger don't give a shit. She's gonna try and, like, dive bomb over this fucking thing.
So that it's too large. So like, wait, I will tell you exactly what happens the moment this activates.
Okay,
So
please.
you open the lock. The bubble pops inward as if though bubble wrap being slapped. There is first a milkitude to it, and then lines break out along this mechanism. You see
Is this the Oculus?
the eye of the Oculus revealed here. And as this energy happens, the overcharged energy everywhere else in the room, bristling live as if a lightning bolt upon you, breaks, drops in an instant, gone.
Phew.
Anti-climax. Nice. Kinky.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
you better not be breaking ancient technology again. I know how you like to do that.
you gaze upon this eye, the Oculus, and you see it swimming around, and you see it swimming around in a most curious location. You see tall, dark metal cliffs almost, and smoking craters. Gaze upon familiar battlefields, Cass. You see the ruination of the Grim Empress
Yeah.
and her lands, and it seems to be floating by as if though mindlessly oblivious to the constructions that has occurred there, and trying to skate around terrains and forests and rivers that are not there, dammed up, broken apart, left to degrade from the industrialization that she put the region through rapidly. The Oculus, sort of like flashes at you. Again, a symbol which now comes across clearly for everyone. It seems to be it's saying that you have insufficient clearance. And yeah, as you guys chill here for a moment, you hear a voice, or a cacophony of voices, rather. They dance, and for a moment you can see around you everyone who you have been seeing fighting, but full-bodied people present. They say, "Thank you. I was just on my way out. I was just on my way in. I'm sure I know where I left that scroll." They pop away as if though nothing but a fleeting midsummer night's dream. And yeah, Cass, you feel as if though this insight has given you actually, Cass, you know what? As you look at like the singe where like these ghosts were coming upon you, a little bit of something like golden has like popped off of the wall, and it looks like it would slot perfectly onto your sword, like right down onto the guard.
Well, I grab it then. That seems almost too perfect. Why not?
Yeah, yeah, it.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
and yeah, the sword slots on. So Yeah, that's the danger to go from Jillatize. So yeah, you guys see this eye and these voices. The ghosts are gone, and you have direct reconnaissance on the Grim Empress.
Jesus, fuck. All right, sorry. Wait. Let me just in character. By the heights of the Arc Spire. Why was this locked away?
Probably the ghosts. And Viv dusts herself off.
Viv, no. Listen to yourself. The
Yeah.
ghost didn't lock this away.
Now, Kith, hate Pyro games.
This was locked away intentionally.
Renrick would flip through the papers that he picked up before to he would look over the section specifically about closing off this area.
The section on closing it off does seem to refers to a series of mishaps, which now in context seem related to not apparitions but issues with the machinery that wouldn't be explained. They kept thinking that the parts had gone wrong, but upon an examination, it was a different part. It really seems to you like something was coming up out of the machinery, a ghost in the machine, and you can't help but wonder if this isn't somehow related to the haunt. But the haunt wouldn't happen for, centuries after this event. Most curious. Most curious indeed. Renrick, give me one last int no to try and, put together what you know about the Arc Spire and what you know about this situation and the Eye of Scry here.
I'm going to try and make my own,
As I sip, indeed.
Probably not going to do as well.
Yeah. So, Cass, you know what you know and what I've basically just went over. Renrick. You think that the legacy... You know that the legacy itself, the source of magic, is related to why some people linger after they're dead. But it's not an intended functionality for the foremost of all magical scholars. However,
You said the ghosts is not intended.
ghosts are not an intended functionality of the legacy of the source of magic. However, it's possible that the true intention of that technology is touched upon by these blue plates here and by the systems of the Arc Spire. And you remember a name. And as you remember a name, you look to the doors, Renrick, and there seems to be a little permissions updated as the doors to your south open up. As you recall, you recall the password, Renrick, and you see devices within. And as you gaze upon them, they dance brilliantly with strange hue. And you remember a name, Renrick. The Honk, as it were.
Wait, what?
There's a car horn outside of my window.
Yeah. You remember a name, 2 words, only a theory. A piece of technology supposedly in the possession of the Shenta, known only as the Ghost Drive.
Jesus.
Ooh.
You begin to wonder if there was a certain degree of truth behind this theory. Supposedly, the same energy pathways tapped into by these ghosts, these impressums of the souls of the departed, could be used to pass energy, intent, knowledge, even commit acts of violence. But perhaps more subtly, cause malfunctions and issues to the ghost drives. These devices tapped into this energy lane. If somebody understood those secrets, then anything reliant upon such technology is suddenly vulnerable to exploitation.
Hmm. Renrick thinks back to the globe with the red lines crisscrossing.
Intersecting beneath the grim Empress's palace,
Indeed.
where she built her mighty foundries to build her automatons of war.
So Renrick would first turn around and examine the blue wall. Does anything happen if he touches it?
You do
After
feel
that, if nothing
he
happens,
feels a
he
little
would.
cold and a little like hairs sticking on the top of the tippy top of the hair sticking up on the back of the neck.
Okay. He would then move, like go up the ladder and move toward the open doors.
All right, yeah.
Viv, I'm gonna follow him.
Probably for the
Yeah,
best.
you follow the doors. You find a room with strangely colored panels to the south as well, and pale glowing lights. In this place, where destiny is made, you feel that you have come to look upon the heart of a great machine, and this is perhaps physical evidence, Renrick, of devices long only guessed at that power certain aspects of the Arcspire.
This is incredible. This seems to be part of
Yes.
the innate machinery of the Arcspire itself. I need to take notes, and he like takes the nearest scrap of paper that he has on him, and starts like drawing the diagram and making notes of what he's pieced together so far.
Indeed. Surely. You will be wanting to hear more of this as you guys hear like a set of footsteps coming. And you see some people like
Keep
looking.
taking notes.
They seem kind of like alarmed that shit has fallen all over. As you hear, you hear and see some guards coming in. And you notice those guards, they are the censors. The people who are elected to, or who are appointed to ensure the clades play nice together. And then through the door steps the custodian herself. Elected
Right.
unanimously leader of the censors. As she looks around and says, "Ah, yes. I thought I would find you here. I came as soon as I heard there had been a disturbance."
Wonderful, thank goodness. We were just going to report this, weren't
Yeah.
we, Renerick?
Yeah, she looks down at the eyes, she looks up at you, and she says, "Everything has changed. Come, you'll accompany us to the conclave. All of the clades are to be gathered together."
Uh,
Good.
Renrick would be like, wait, just a few more minutes.
Yeah, and as this
But
occurs and you undergo euphoria, Renrick, you feel as if though you're experiencing something one might describe as culture shock. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
he's just like madly trying to write down his thoughts and examine the stuff in front of him and the stuff in the room. And I would probably just need to be dragged away.
Yeah,
Physically dragged.
as this is happening,
Cass is going to make sure that that dragging takes as long as it is absolutely necessary because Cass likes Renrick, in spite of the fact that he works for the opposite
they're not
teams.
dragging too hard.
Cass
The
is
custodian is more
interested
looking
in seeing
slack-jawed at what she sees in the Oculus, because the Oculus is slowly going over a western cliff, in a crevasse there. And amidst the destroyed shaft of a yet smoking, destroyed automaton factory is a slick of pale blue-white substance coming out of what looks like wall fungi as her jaw fucking drops. It is a substance any of you would recognize instantly. The ambrosia that permits the Shenta to reproduce and elongate their own lives.
Oh, that's
Lost
important.
with the fall of the with the overtaking of the Grim Empress
Oh,
and
shit.
overtaking of the Aratu that was the only one of their home planet that you knew of in the area. The substance you were running out of a supply of. Right there.
Yes.
In some amount of it intact. And on that, we end for the day. Everybody, give me your favorite part of tonight's session, and we'll go on the raid, beginning with Pat. Hit with it.
Look at it. That's what we fought for. All those years. Right there. It's as if you could just reach out and hold it in your arms. Like
Did we
a
fight for
fucking
that?
apple. Ripe to be plucked from the tree.
For that.
I don't have anything more than that. I think the absolute badass ending speaks for itself, Lee.
Yeah, goop.
Things we liked.
Yeah,
It's
do your
fun.
favorite bit.
Favorite bit? Big damage. Like swinging around big damage. Don't chip on things. I like big damage, especially when it's not on someone, not on me. Especially when it's on Cat.
Yeah. When I got fucked with like eight damage, I was like, whoa, fun.
Yeah, you were about to just go down, surrounded by like 6 enemies.
That's the best kind of enemy. 6 of them.
and all I did was like just keep moving around, spinning things.
I did
This is fine.
enjoy. I gave you. I gave you all these cool upgrades, and you're like, today I will run around.
Nice. All that said and done, I think that we are on to Javi.
Yes.
Javi.
My favorite thing was that Renner got to be like basically go full nerd here, and like, because I feel like most of the time he just ends up playing like a monk character, like a monk fighter.
Punching so many people, yeah.
And here he was kind of in his element, and so he did a lot of the investigation and stuff, and it was just cool to be able to lean into that. I also really like the ending, the cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger. Yeah, we'll see it. We'll explore it in part 2 of the Climax. We're gonna go on a raid to St. Stella. Thank you all for coming out. Don't forget, Foolish Moon Entertainment makes this possible. They have a Kickstarter going on right now. Please consider heading out to back them. It's involving chess. It's involving a game.
Nope, that's not it. Fuck me.
And oh yeah, I did release
Kickstarter.
I released
Checkmate.
a prototype of my game on itch.io. If you're into that, it's pinned in Art Pub on the Discord.
There's their Kickstarter.
There's their Checkmate TTRPG. We're raiding fairly well. Dream on until next time. We dream, dreamers.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Ciao.
My baby loves the Western movies.